The Japanese spider crab has the longest legs of any arthropod. Hi, what's going on everybody? My name is Brandon. I'm a marine biologist and an artist, and welcome to Nature Meets Paper, the place where we go on an adventure to discover the world of marine biology. I love sharing my experiences with aquatic creatures with you. It is my goal to raise awareness of our beautiful bodies of water and the creatures that live in them through science, stories, and art. If you are new to this community, welcome! Today we will be discovering the Japanese spider crab. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Macrocheira camphieri. Ooh, I hope I did that one correctly. Or the Japanese spider crab lives on the Pacific Ocean side of Japan's deep continental shelf regions. They prefer sandy and rocky terrain. These animals will be difficult to see in the wild. They typically spend their time between 50 and 300 meters deep. For my Seattle community, that is as deep as a space needle is tall. Juveniles spend most of their time as plankton on the surface or at 50 meters. As they grow to adults, they go deeper into the water column. They can be found near hydrothermal vents, but typically spend most of their time alone on the bottom of the seafloor. Spider crabs can't swim, so they will always be on the benthic surface. Since they are found in deep water, that means that the sun can't warm their habitat. The spider crabs prefer water between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius. Now that we know where Japanese spider crabs live, we can discover its behavior and what it looks like. Japanese spider crabs are not spiders, they just have long legs. They have the longest legs of all of the arthropods. When stretched out, they can reach lengths of 4 meters or over 12 feet, but average 3 meters. The legs they use for walking are thin and end in a sharp point. This allows the crab to grip sediment in the rocks as well as climb vertical surfaces. They have 2 legs that end in claws towards the front of the crab. These claws are long and thin, not used for crushing like other species of crab. These claws are used for grabbing or cutting into food. They reach forward but also seem to be backwards. This allows them to reach up into their mouth. Their carapace, or shell, stays relatively small. It grows roughly 37 centimeters and stays that size for its adult life. Adult crabs are bright orange with white or light cream colored spots. Their legs have most of the mottled coloration, leaving the carapace mostly orange. Their carapace is almost pear or teardrop shaped. It is wide at the back end and tapers to a point between the eyes. I don't know all the specific names for parts of crabs as I do with fish, whales, and seals, so please keep that in mind. Here is an interesting fact for you. The life cycle of this crab is not always crab-shaped. When first hatched, the crabs are clear plankton that float on the surface of the water. As they grow, they get denser calcium shells that allows them to sink to the seafloor. They then grow by molting their shell and expanding their size. When they are juveniles, they are vulnerable to predators, so it is common to see the Japanese spider crab decorate its body with sponges and anemones. This acts as camouflage to hide it. Once these crabs grow large enough, they stop decorating their shells. It makes sense to me. What is going to eat a 12-foot long crab on the seafloor? Not much. The body is also covered in spiky bumps. This helps keep predators away and break up their body lines in order to hide better. It is hard to eat something sharp and spiky. Males and females look similar, but the males typically have longer legs with claws than the females. There is not a ton of information on this crab, but scientists believe this crab can live up to 100 years old in the wild. That is a long time for an animal to live. Before I move on, I want to go over a few details about crabs in general. Crabs breathe in water using their gills, and they typically filter food particles with their jaw plates. With this information, we can discover how the Japanese spider crab is doing and their diet. Japanese spider crabs are omnivores. They eat decaying plant and animal parts. Crabs are the janitorial system of the seas. They eat dying and dead algae, kelp, particles, and animals. They scavenge dead animals on the bottom of the ocean, including sharks, whales, seals, fish, and other crabs. These crabs are important for keeping the oceans clean and removing dead and decaying material known as detritus. They will occasionally grab living things, but are slow and not very strong. There are stories of giant crabs grabbing sailors and eating them. However, we know that the stories of old fishermen could be exaggerated. The crab would not be able to reach the boat and would not be strong enough to pull out a grown man. What if a person is already dead and sinks to the bottom of the ocean? Then, yes, this crab will eat them. But other than that, this is not a giant man-eating crab from myths and legends. In fact, they are gentle creatures with a soft disposition. They just want to eat their detritus in peace. So, how are Japanese spider crabs doing? The IUCN Red List has them listed as insufficient data. This means there is not enough data to this date to perform a population health analysis. It is thought that the population is decreasing, but we don't really know. There is a small fishery for this animal, but it is strictly regulated. You are not allowed to fish for this in the spring because it is breeding season. The crabs do not nurture their young and will spray and pray that a few individuals will make it and keep the family line intact. With changing water conditions, it is hard to tell how the crab is doing or will do in the future. It is time for my encounter with this huge crab. How did I meet these crabs? I wanted to feature animals from the North Pacific Ocean. I went to a local aquarium known as the Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium. It is in Tacoma, Washington. I have been several times and have even featured a few animals from there on this channel. They opened a new exhibit called the Pacific Seas. These crabs are the first thing that greet you when you walk in. I was in awe. I love seeing new animals. I took several pictures to find the right settings in my camera. And these things are huge. They were not fully grown, but they were incredible. They sat in the tank slowly moving around. I had to read the signs above the exhibit to even know what they were. I thought they were king crabs at first, but read that they were Japanese spider crabs. I wanted to capture their alien appearance. It is difficult to get a crab to cooperate. I was just excited to see something new. I love the learning process this channel gives me. I don't know everything about the oceans, but I sure love learning and sharing what I find. If you are nearby, I highly recommend visiting. The park is big, and there are great views when it's sunny. Plus, the animals are fun to watch. The zoo and aquarium are not sponsors of this video. I just wanted you to know that. I don't know why, but I get excited by watching ocean creatures and just want to share with you. It might be my calling, or I just find it interesting. As the details are finalized on this art piece, I will call this adventure finished. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell to be notified when I post new content. I do my best to post new content every single weekend, but sometimes life gets in the way or a painting is too detailed to finish in a week. This month, I am raising awareness and donations for Lupus Research. Don't worry, I don't handle the money. Lupus is an immune disease that is really kind of hard to define. Lupus is really hard to define, but it affects your immune system. My friend was diagnosed with lupus recently, and she's already seeing some of the effects in her life, and I just want to raise awareness and raise funds so that maybe in the future she can get some help. If you would like to support this channel, I sell my art in the forms of originals and museum quality prints. My originals sell for $12 a linear inch. My prints run $6 and $3 a linear inch, depending if it's a limited edition or an unlimited edition print. I also sell merchandise at teespring.com. Links to everything are down below. Thanks again, I've been Brandon, and I will see you in our next adventure.